What's up, guys? Welcome to this episode of Beers and Breakdowns with my man's Kurt.
Boom.
Myself, two former Green Berets, here to talk about tactics and movies. And we are about to review a pretty awesome movie.
I was sleeping on this movie for a long time.
Me too.
I remember I tried to turn it on once and I saw it was a foreign language film.
Yep.
And I was like, I don't feel like reading right now. So I turned it off. And then everybody's like, what do you mean you haven't seen it? And
Dude,
I was like, I don't know.
I slept on it too, and until we started having to do research for the trip, and I was like, well, what movie's gonna watch? And then people kept saying, Mosul, you gotta watch Mosul. And I was like, I looked it up and I saw, that it was foreign. I was like, oh, it was one of those foreign war movies. And like foreign movies just, a lot of times just corny.
Yeah. And
it's not good.
And for me, it's like, when I'm watching a movie,
reading.
I want to relax. Like,
Yeah.
I don't want to read the whole time. I hate watching with subtitles, and I feel like it distracts me from the movie. But
then this one happened. So I started watching it and I was like, damn, this fucking thing is good. Like, this is a really, really good movie. It's super accurate. Like, fighting, I fought Taliban in Afghanistan and I fought ISIS. And the way that they have the fighters, the way that they dress, the way that they act, the way, just their personalities, like everything in this movie was extremely accurate based on my experience with Afghan forces. I've experienced Afghan commandos, so special forces. I've experienced Afghan tier 1 elements. They're Delta Force, and these guys reminded me of an Afghan tier 1 element, like a small group of guys that are battle hardened and kind of do their own thing.
yeah.
And you could tell as you get up, like their tier 1 elements start to listen to us less and less. They're like, okay, whatever. Like, they know they don't.
They're the subject matter experts on the ground there.
Yeah, they're like, listen, we don't need you. We could use your assets, but if your assets go away, we're still going to be fine because we're a talented force of fighters, and they're brave, and they're pretty awesome. But this was super accurate. So let's jump right in and check it out.
Oh.
You see what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't matter that it's not in English because the action is so good.
Yeah, like these guys are up against an overwhelming force. At this point. That's
so
wild.
This is the Iraqi police force, and they're going up against, was it ISIS?
Yeah.
And they're like moving in to basically just go. ISIS is moving in to just go take care of these dudes, but they're fighting to the last minute. They're fighting everything they got. And I love just how the scurry of it all, like the shoot, shit, oh shit, grab more ammo, shoot,
Yeah.
dump a mag over the top, like anything they could do to fight back, they're doing it.
That's that moment of desperation when he's just like, fuck, just like stop, like back up, whatever you can do. And then, like you said, the fact that he's like going down, like looking for ammo. Dude. And then like just grab something sharp, and now everybody else is like, oh, they're out of ammo, so like let's go, we're gonna get them now.
Yeah,
that's
it's the Alamo.
Situation. Yeah, exactly.
And it's sick. I love it. Like, it doesn't distract from it at all. It almost makes it better that it's not in English, because then you just feel totally immersed in like the culture and the vibe that the movie's putting off. I think it's so damn good.
Hami. Aman!
My dude's got a piece of glass.
That's desperation.
Aman! أمين على المكان شباب دير بالك اثنين شرطة جوال.
So instantly you see, like, you go from the difference of ISIS, which is what they do. They don't aim a lot. Like, they have snipers, and sure, they'll use them, but a lot of times it's a lot of this number, and their whole purpose is to just send as many bullets as you as possible, and hopefully one hits, or as we like to call, spray and pray.
Yep.
And that's what they do. They'll take cover and just spray like this, so it's really hard to shoot them and put them down because they're always hiding behind cover, and it sucks. But Then these guys show up and they're a SWAT unit and they just fucking murk them all. And clearly you're like, okay, these guys are some badasses.
Yeah, professionals.
Yeah, but the way this thing is shot, I mean, this is one of the best war movies I've seen in a very long time.
Yeah, I like it.
It's so good.
Because one of those, like, you feel the grittiness. Like, you feel like the dust in the air, like you're there with them. Abel would probably tell us about how they got some grit filter on the camera. And it's 17 frames per second.
كنتوا مدرستي متميزين؟ ايه انا كنت سابقك السنه لو اثنين قاعد اشبك عليك كنا مهمه وسمعنا صوت مسدس قلنا يمكن دور الشرطه الخطر شكرا اشكر رائد جاسم عشان قررت.
Oh, it's just funny to me because it's like you're the rear guy.
And he's just talking. He's like, bro, turn around.
Yeah,
Why do I have to keep doing this?
How many times do I have to turn around and pull rear security for you before you pick up on the fact that it's your fucking job?
It's like one of those foot stomp moments. Like, hey, do your job.
He's like, pull security, has to push him out of the way at one point to pull rear security because this guy's just like too busy running his fucking mouth. Yeah. And then it's like, dude, figure it the fuck out. He's obviously showing you what your job's supposed to be.
Yep.
Look behind you
so
and pull rear security.
You know what? Just get in front of me.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
Just fucking move because you're useless. All right, so they go in the house.
امان
المفتاح معنا في 10 دقائق.
All right, so it's just a tactic going in. It's kind of more of a police officer tactic to like clear stuff by yourself and split up. Just because you don't always have the number of guys, and then it's faster to overwhelm and clear a location by yourself.
Right.
It's just a tactic. I'm not saying it's right or wrong, but it's a tactic. So if an ODA was going to go in and clear, we would do it as a unit.
You never clear a room by yourself.
No, you never go by yourself. So we would go as a unit, and then we would clear either, counterclockwise or clockwise, get that first floor clear, and then move upstairs and then clear that second floor. But what they do is they all go in and disperse.
Yep.
And it's a technique, and it's super quick because everyone gets in there, and then if somebody gets bogged down in a gunfight, then you guys could all work towards that person and support them. It's just a technique.
But the one, I think, bad thing about this, from what we've seen so far, though, is it looks like they don't clear upstairs. Like, he walked halfway up to the first flight of stairs, poked his gun up, and then came back down. So, honestly, they don't really know what's up there.
Yeah.
Yet. I don't know. Maybe they'll go do it in a minute. But
so they're kind of doing like a hasty clear.
Yeah, very much so. But now they're going to take 10 minutes to rest.
فايزة وشتك طاطش قد حلوة. وأنت ما خلصان من هنا وبالثلاثة. تنهى البطل المي صار وين يعني.
So a couple things happening here. So one is like the team starter's like weird tick to always clean up. Everywhere they go, he's like picking up trash. I don't know if it's trying to show like his love for his country and the fact that they want to take Iraq back, Mosul back from ISIS, or it's just a strange tick that he has where he cleans up, but it ends up getting him killed because he goes to clean up a porn magazine, which is against religion, and it's booby trapped to a bomb.
Yeah, I mean, to me it looks like they're portraying the respect and love that he has for his country. Yeah, is what I get out of it.
And then another thing is, every war movie we watch, they have that camaraderie thing. Well, they all go sit in a room and turn on the TV, and they're talking shit about how hot the chicks are and which wives. And I thought that was really accurate because it's like, it just shows like a chill, fun moment that they're having. Right,
and the other part where he's like, "Oh, shut up, dick." Like, it's cool to see, they have the same interactions we do.
And he told him, he's like, rest when you can, because he was like, the new guy kept peering out, like always looking out the window all paranoid, and Team Sergeant was like, rest when you can. And it's like, that's real shit. Like when you're constantly in battle, like you take your breaks when you get them. Army guys all know that. You sleep when you get a chance to sleep. Yeah. Whether it's on the floor or on a plane, when you have a chance to relax, you have to take advantage.
You don't know when it's coming again.
Yeah, it could be days.
عمو حبيبي تعال ويانا في الله يسلمك. يلا حبيبي تعال قلبي.
وعدت لابويا. وعدت لابويا.
سيدي
معنا وقت.
روح حرك.
All right, so they pull over. The team sergeant has them pull over because there's two kids on the side of the road and they're pulling their dead father in a cart, and they're trying to get their dead father somewhere where they could give him a proper burial.
Right.
Because they promised their dad that they wouldn't leave him without a proper burial if he got killed. So one of the brothers is like, we have to go because the team stops and like, come with us, we'll get you to safety. And the brother's like, I'm not leaving our dad. And the little brother's like, I'm out of here. We got to go. Yeah. And so it's just interesting. I like how they have like that moral dilemma that you wouldn't necessarily have as a foreign fighter in someone else's country.
Right, yeah.
You would see that and just pass by and be like, that's a shitty situation.
Yeah.
But when it's your country that you're fighting in, it's different. Because
the compassion that you have is different.
And the moral decisions, the moral dilemmas are surrounding you constantly. So I can only imagine what people are going through in Ukraine.
Oh yeah.
And it's like when you're fighting inside your own country, it changes the rules on everything. Suddenly it's not just the mission. There's the mission, but then there's also your people.
Right, yeah.
So this movie does a really good job at like portraying what it would be like to have to fight every day inside your own country.
سمعت القصص عنه؟
نعم.
خلاص. إذا قلت لأي واحد إنه أنت شفتني راح أعرف إنه أنت وش. زين؟
شباب حرك.
Yeah, so this Iraqi officer recognized the SWAT team, and the whole thing is that they're all supposed to have been killed in an operation. So the whole command, everyone thinks they're all dead.
So that's how they're able to go and do this mission.
You're right.
Okay.
That's how they're able to continue on their mission. Is only half the unit got killed. The other half decided to break off and continue mission to save each other's families.
Right.
So that's why every time they see him, like, oh, it's SWAT, you guys are alive. Everyone thought you were dead. And he's like, don't fucking tell anybody.
We've gone ghost.
Yeah, so they're basically just a rogue kill squad.
I love how he's like, all the stories you've heard about us, they're all true.
Yeah.
Rips his name tape off.
Just sick, dude.
It's like, keep your fucking mouth shut.
Yeah, and it's not overacting. It's not corny. It's just fucking...
It's so good.
It's cool.
I'm digging this movie, man.
Dude,
like the whole
sick.
vibe, it's so
Yeah.
the gritty and rawness.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
And it's shot really well. It looks like super high budget. It doesn't look like at all low budget film. I think there's ups and downs of rolling around in the Humvees. Like obviously you have armor protection, which is sweet, but you're just a rolling target because everyone knows who you are.
لا تبي هذا اعتمدها لا حد يرمي عليها محتاجين يكون طلقه احتمي.
Damn. Good thing I missed.
Yeah.
Petting. When he's like, it's C4 or petting, it's kind of different because petting and C4 would be used for different things, right? So petting, from my understanding or what I recall, is more of a high explosive, which would be used in a detonator. So you would use that to detonate the C4. Generally, something like that you're not going to have in huge quantities because the more, I guess, higher factor and all that, the more volatile it is. So that's why, like, the compound that's in blasting caps, that would be awesome if you just had a bunch of it, right? But it's so sensitive that you only have it in small amounts, and you use that as the first part of the explosive chain to then set off the bigger explosive.
So petting is in the blasting cap? Is that the...
So generally, no, I can't remember what it is that's in most blasting caps, but petting is just another compound that you can use. So there was one, we did a homemade explosives course with the ATF, and they found...
we did that in Robin Sage too, remember that?
Homemade explosives?
Yeah.
Did we?
In Robin Sage, and he pulled out all kinds of shit that you could make bombs from, like, in your house.
I don't remember that.
Yeah.
We were on different lanes, though, so...
Oh, yeah, in ours, they had this guy come out, and he was like, I'm going to show you guys some shit. And we're like, what's up? And he brought out, like, everything in a house that you could make bombs out of.
Was he an ATF guy?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he started making bombs out of all this stuff, and I was like, what the fuck?
So I got to go to Huntsville, Alabama, where the ATF runs a homemade explosives course. It was phenomenal. Like, they gave us a hard drive, essentially, on how to make meth. because it was a lot of civilian law enforcement and EOD teams. So they had to know, like, if they go into a meth lab, how do you identify it? And then how do you dispose of it? Because, you know, these meth stills can be extremely deadly. But yeah, so it was awesome to see. But, you know, there was one of the guys there, they had got a call, and there was this thing that happened in the Philippines, and he flew all the way over there, and the unit, whatever unit it was, one of the Filipino units, had found all this chemical, and they're like, yeah, we don't know what it is. And he goes and he looks at it, and he immediately is like, we got to go. And because it was all what's called TATP, which is triacetylene triperoxide, which TATP is something that we make in homemade explosives, and we use it as a blasting cap, but it's so volatile. Like, it's one of those things where if you go in, like, if you're in a room where it's all drying and you open the door too fast, the pressure and temperature change can make it go off.
Oh, fuck that.
And so it's one of those, and he said he got there, and there was like hundreds of pounds of this stuff. And he was like, we have to go right now. So it's like one of those things, like, you get all these like compounds, and it's just part of a chain, because that, you don't want to have hundreds of pounds. You want to only have just a little bit, because if it goes off, it's not going to do that much. But once you plug it into C4, then it sets off the rest of the explosive chain. Yeah. So that's why something like, you know, petting in C4, you know, that would be a shitty situation, especially if you have a drone just like coming out of the sky. You hear it, you can't see it because it's so small, and then it's just like, bam.
That was scary.
They got lucky, like, they missed.
Yeah, so to have a drone buzzing overhead, you know that sucks. And you know that they're probably either using it for intel to find you, for surveillance, or as an explosive. You don't know which. You don't want to shoot at it and give away your position. So it's like, I would just be running for some kind of overhead cover, and then all of a sudden this thing comes in, boom.
Dude, drones are hard to spot. Have you ever heard one outside, and you're like, oh, where is it?
Yeah.
They're so hard to spot.
Yeah. So this seems so accurate that you would just hear the buzzing and you'd be like, oh shit. But I just thought that was a badass like scene to put in there, where it's like they're having to deal with this kind of stuff. Like, we own the airspace, so we're not going to have drones randomly flying in on us that we don't know whose they are. Like, we're the ones throwing the drones. Like, we have...
Generally, I feel like now, though, they're so cheap.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
A couple $100, you can have a drone. Anybody can have it. You can strap whatever the fuck you want onto that thing. So I think, like, nowadays, that's something that's a very realistic possibility, you know?
Yeah. And that's pretty scary. I just thought that was a dope way to fucking send a drone at, or send a bomb at somebody.
Holy fuck.
Yo, the new guy just went batshit, bro. So that was his partner in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
And the part that we skipped was that his partner got let go by that unit, and then all of a sudden ISIS came back and blew up the spot they were at. So he snitched them out.
Oof.
So then he got caught, and they were arguing about the fact that they wanted to kill him because he snitched on them. And they kept arguing, but no, it's our prisoner, you can't kill him. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he comes and just hatches him in the fucking dump.
I love how everybody's just like, oh, fuck.
Yeah. So he just swacks
He's
him.
like, I'm going to make this decision an easy one for you guys. Oh, damn. Was that friendly fire? Oh, damn. Fuck, there's a lot going on there.
Yeah, and that's what I love about this movie, is it shows that war is fucking crazy. Like,
the chaos.
Like, bad shit happens. So 2 things went down that are extremely realistic. One of them happened to us, is we had our Delta went to throw a grenade over a wall because we were taking contact. It hit the tree and came back on our side.
Oof.
Blew up and put shrapnel in my buddy's leg. So it's like, shit happens.
Right, yeah.
And then, so in this one, 2 things happens. One, he throws a grenade, it bounces back and fucking blows up their own guy. And then 2, he was shooting and one of his guys ran in front of him and he shot him in the shoulder.
Yeah.
So it's like 2 fucking friendly fire incidents.
Yep.
And it's like, you may look at them and be like, oh, these guys suck, they're so terrible. It's like, no, that's just war. fucking chaos is happening. Everyone's shooting. You're trying your best. You're trying to orchestrate and have the best fields of fire. But bad shit happens. I mean, accidents happen. You're fucking running at high speeds. Shit happens. And that's why I love that they obviously knew what they were doing to make this movie and to show bad shit happening like that, despite it showing their guys in a bad light. Instead of making them out to be the superheroes that never fuck up and get headshots every time.
It's showing they're real.
This was like one of the most realistic portrays of combat I'd ever seen.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
It's fucking, it's so real. My dude just got his second hatchet kill.
Jeez.
So he went from a cop shooting like this, trying to survive, to 2 hatchet kills.
Good for him.
Like he is changing as a human being. He is adapting.
He's evolving.
Bro, he's adapting to his new role.
He's leveling up.
Yeah, he's leveling up fast, dude. The last thing you ever want a sniper to do is to stick their muzzle over the edge of the wall and then just sit at the edge of the wall.
Completely exposing his position.
Yeah, so it's like, it's so easy when you look at buildings, they're straight lines. And along all the top of the buildings are going to be straight, smooth edges. So the minute you have straight line and then it's messed
and
up
all these
a little
buildings
bit,
are tan.
Yeah.
You just got this black, just like
silhouette.
Round, silhouette there.
So instantly you're going to be, whether you recognize that as a human or not, instantly you're going to look at that silhouette and be like, that's off, something's off.
Yeah.
Like you could look up and see a bunch of building tops, and then the minute there's a weird silhouette shape, you're going to focus right on it. So that's why you never silhouette yourself as a sniper on the edge, or even if you don't have a sniper rifle, you just have a rifle. You don't silhouette yourself like that.
It's like what they talk about, like tree cancer with like sniper school or whatever, because you're next to a tree, you see a tree, and you see somebody like posting around it, and it's like human shape.
Yeah, it's like
that's not natural.
Tree cancer? That's funny. I've never heard that before. So yeah, that's what you're trying to do, is avoid being silhouetted on shapes that don't make sense to your eye. We're used to seeing certain things all the time, buildings, trees. So the minute the shape goes from sticks to sticks with tree cancer, you're like, what's that? That's different. That doesn't fit in my mind. So never silhouette yourself. So a sniper's position should be set back and then just looking through like a hole in the wall, some kind of cover, but you don't want to be on top. You want to be set back somewhere over here so they can't see you. So I just thought that was a beautiful clear. Is it perfect Gucci American style? No, it's not our style, but it's still a beautiful clear.
It's effective.
It's speed, surprise, violence of action. Yep. It's effective. They do almost like a shotgun blast technique. So instead of flowing as a single unit and then, staying together, they try to overwhelm a room all at the same time.
Flood into an area and take control.
They flood into the area. They use speed. Now you have to try and track multiple people, or you have to pick one while the other one's over here shooting at you.
It's a good technique.
It's a technique, and it works really well for them, and it looks like it would work. They just overwhelm an area and have all the angles immediately. So instead of moving and then we're taking over the angles like this, they flood that room. And somehow manage, well, not always, they shot one of their own, but that's kind of the downside to that technique, is that you can't always own the right angles without getting in the way of
hard
other
to keep
shooters.
track of everybody too.
But it's definitely, when you're not dealing with standard structures, it could be a good way to just adapt to any environment, adapt to a huge courtyard versus a small room versus a house that has no rules because Middle Eastern houses don't always make sense and they're not uniform.
Right.
So it's a technique that they use, and I wouldn't hate on it. It looks cool. If I was in that stack and flown with them, I would be able to just get in and I'd be like, let's go.
Let's do it.
It's like on the seat of your pants, fucking get in there and find that target, identify them, and shoot them first.
Yeah.
And they clear whole fucking buildings within like 5 minutes. They're just like,
You know what I like is all the Toyotas that are there.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen this Instagram page called Toyotas of War?
no.
Dude, it's sick because they take like all these hot spots and war zones around the world. You always find a Toyota Hilux. Or
Yeah, we had a
something.
Hilux with no doors on it.
Dude, we had even at first group, like in the motor pool, we had all like the Humvees, blah blah blah, and then you see Toyota Hilux, like they're all right hand drive, they're awesome.
Yeah.
But to see like that page, Toyotas of War, it's like all the technicals, like there's just pictures from all these hot spots all over the war, or all over the world, and they're all these Toyotas with like big like machine guns in the back.
Fuck yeah.
لازم يموت.
Can you imagine?
عندك وقت نستخدمها الباقي سكاكين ومسدسات لا ترمي الا عند الضروره.
Going covert. He's like, I don't need this.
Yeah.
شباب صورة واحد.
Just like that scene alone, that prep getting ready is so good. Like these guys know what the fuck they're doing.
Exactly. It
They're
shows
working
their
with the
competency.
equipment a lot. They have the confidence. Radio's off. Only those with suppressors shoot. So then they're switching to whatever weapon system has a suppressor.
Yeah.
If you don't have a suppressor, you're pulling out your hatchet or your knife.
Getting rid of the gun that you don't need.
Yeah, it's
because
like-
that's just gonna slow you down.
Like these guys know what the fuck they're doing. Like, and it's a different kind of war because you don't have access to everything. Not everyone has suppressors. Not everyone has the same weapon systems. So whatever you picked up along the way or bargained along the way, like they bargained for that RPG that didn't fucking work, they're picking up things as they go. But that scene is sick, dude. I love
the resourcefulness of this unit, you know?
جاهزين. جاهزين.
Oh, number 2 man's not suppressed.
But he's got his knife. So he's got his pistol and he's got his knife.
All right, cool.
So the number 1 man could shoot with his suppressor, and the number 2 man's it's like his pistol's his backup to his knife.
Yeah, because I mean, once the enemy goes loud,
Yeah.
everybody's loud. My guy's got that hatchet ready to go.
Trying to get that 3rd kill.
جاهزين.
And then that shit's bananas right there. Like, they drop all rifles. They just like all pistols. Like, we'll come back and get those. They're just trying to be as light and quick as possible at this point. So they essentially just transitioned into this like tier 1 fucking quick hostage rescue team.
Like we talked on the other one, the difference between a slow, methodical CQB and a quick, fast, and in a hurry hostage rescue.
They dropped all their long rifles. They didn't want to be slowed down at all. They want anything banging on the walls, hanging off their backs.
Snagging them up.
Yeah, so they just went straight pistols and knives. And dude, it's so fucking cool. Like, their transition is something that we would never do. I'm never putting my rifle on the ground.
Right, yeah.
Ever. But we have different tactics for different situations. And this is the perfect example of how to be resourceful, like you said, and transition, adapt your tactics to your environment.
أيوة أنا وليد. الدنيا أنا بابا.
So we just saved this family.
Damn, dude.
Isn't that crazy? Like, golly, this shit is nuts. That whole thing is just to save his family. It's to save his family. And like, so they become this small group of this SWAT family. And then now, instead of like staying with his family, he owes it to the next members who helped him save his family to go save their family.
Yep.
So now they pick the next closest person to that location, and then they're going to go save that guy's family.
That's wild, man.
So there should be a Mosul too. Like,
Yeah, so it kind of shows what you were saying earlier of the differences from fighting in a foreign land and fighting on your own soil.
Yeah.
That's wild.
Could you imagine having to get in gunfights all day, every day, just to try and get to your family?
Yeah.
I would.
These guys went through hell to get there.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
And then come to find out, then his wife is pregnant because she's been getting raped by ISIS the whole time.
It's
heart-wrenching.
That's a tough situation.
Dude,
yeah.
This movie's insane.
This is awesome. I'd like to know, like, who, like, advised this movie and, like, all that. They did such a good job. People need, a lot of other people, I know we talked about this on one of the other ones we did, they need to look at movies like this and, like, how did they do this and try to recreate that instead of this other, like, BS that they do and make all these, like, wazoo, just crazy movies.
Yeah, we're on this, like, trend of trying to be fucking John Wick with war movies.
Yeah.
And they're all bullshit and they're garbage. And then you have stuff like Lone Survivor and Mosul. I think those two fucking nailed it.
So
I think
just
13
raw?
hours. Yeah.
Yep.
Mosul, Lone Survivor, 13 hours are three of the best ones we've seen. The best ones we had the pleasure to review because they're so fucking good. So like those to me are on the pinnacle of what a really, really good war movie is. All right, guys, we hope you liked that episode. Mosul, if you haven't checked it out, go watch this movie. Talk about accurate. It's one of the most accurate war movies I've ever seen. It's fucking incredible, and it's so cool. I loved it.
Yeah, this is awesome. And also, you know, there's same time this came out, also a documentary named Mosul came out. Shout out to my boy Jimmy. He worked on it. Said it wasn't as good. It was a lot more boring, but it's very realistic as to what was going on in Mosul at the time on the ground. So if you want to check that out as well.
Right on. See you guys on the next one.